Hello, amazing artist. Today, our inspiration is a New York-based artist, Ben Rubin, aka Subway Doodle's artwork. You may see the pattern already. He loves to use his creative talents to turn mundane, everyday photos into something extraordinary. Let's take a look at his practice.
My name is Subway Doodle, and I'm an artist who lives in Brooklyn, New York. 7 years ago, I bought my first iPad. I started to use it as a sketchbook. I would spend my commute on the train from Brooklyn to Manhattan drawing whatever came to mind. And then one day, I walked onto the train and I took a picture with my iPad and I started drawing over the picture. It was kind of an aha moment. And then I discovered Instagram, and to me, Instagram just seemed like the perfect medium for me to post my drawings, and it surprisingly took on a life of its own. The characters I create are, in a sense, manifestations of what I would experience as an everyday New Yorker. A lot of times my work is subtle commentary on subway etiquette to just the type of people you see around the city. You know, they're manspreading on the subway, and I think a lot of people can relate to those frustrations, so they find that work very entertaining. The inspiration can come from anywhere. Sometimes I will see something and instantly say in my head, that's a doodle, because I envision my creatures as almost living in these places. One of my favorite pieces, which is a blue kind of crunched up, looking all depressed under the Washington Square arch, was just simply I was on my way to the dentist and I stopped and took that picture, and I had that sudden inspiration of, that is the perfect spot to put somebody. You know, I always get asked about these creatures and how they actually exist in our world. The way I see them is that they are real and they're just part of the population of New York City. These days in the art world, you see a complete mashup of pop culture and cartoons and art all melding together. I look at my work now and I see that total confluence of the cartooning meeting the fine art techniques. I really think a lot about, when I put my characters in an environment, how is the light going to affect that character? How is reflected light going to affect that character? And how can I make them feel like they really belong in that world?
Last week, you learned about forced perspective photography and created some pretty cool images already. Today, you will think about how you can put your creative minds into making these photos even more interesting to look at. Here are something that's powerful to think about. What do you want your audience to feel when they see your artwork? What is a theme you want to draw in your work? Is it monster and aliens as well? Or maybe it's related to foods or sports? And how can you create space or illusion in a drawing? Here are a few techniques to use. The first and most important way is through overlapping. Overlapping occurs when objects that are closer to the viewer prevent the view of objects that are behind them. You can also use size. Objects that are smaller will appear further away from the viewer. Placement. Objects placed lower on the picture plane appear closer, while objects placed near eye level appear further away. Last but not least, detail or perspective. Objects that are further away should have less detail than objects that are closer to the viewer. Here are some examples made by me and my previous students. I hope these give you some ideas. I can't wait to see what you're going to create.